A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of the show. It's the first one for the week and it promises to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Tonight on the show, we will be taking a look at what's currently going on in Europe. That's UEFA Champions League. We'll also talk about the Basketball Africa League. We'll also look at some trendy stories on the domestic scene. We will also take it a step further to look at what's going on with European football and, of course, the politics. We'll also spare thought for Nigeria's under-20 and what's the news about the Flying Eagles. That's the outlook of the show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yemi Adebayo. And, of course, usually I'm not alone on the show. My partner, of course, colleague Austin Okon-Akpan, always with me as we take a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. Greetings to you, Austin. Thanks for taking this trip again today. Of course, touring around in the world of sports.
Sport greetings, Yemi, and of course everyone joining us on the show tonight. Still an action-packed world of sports in Europe. We're monitoring what's going on in the UEFA Champions League. Big game for Manchester City against Leipzig. I called the first leg that it was going to be very difficult for Pep Guardiola's team because of the stress they were going through in the English Premier League. The away trips before they went to Germany. Tonight they need to just solidify pressure on Manchester City because pundits believe they have what it takes to win the UEFA Champions League, but we'll get to see also FC Porto and Inter Milan, they're clashing. But then also in England, fans are talking here. They're saying that Arsenal, they're putting good pressure, they're mounting everything that they have on the chase for the league title. But now that they've got the Europa League campaign also, is it going to affect their season? That's the conversation that we're having right here in the United Kingdom. We'll continue to monitor everything as it goes down.
All right, that's very, very interesting. I'll quickly go on to take my seat, and of course, I'll introduce our partner in the Lagos studio so that we can have a robust conversation around all the things I've talked about and the things that Austin has said as well. All right, let me just quickly go straight ahead to introduce our partner in the Lagos studio. He makes a return. It's been a while. Tolu Tobatele joins us. Greetings to you, Tolu. I think I can still say Happy New Year. This is the first time I'm seeing you this year.
Yeah, of course. Happy New Year to you as well, because this is the first time I'll be seeing as well. So, it's been an interesting, time out in the sporting world, over the past months. Most especially, the recently concluded African Under-20, our Nations Cup in Italy, where the Flying Eagles of Nigeria, of course, won the bronze, having lost out to Gambia, in the semi-final stage of the AFCON. Of course, also, we've seen Rivers United, in the CAF Confederations Cup, doing brilliantly well, and on some other sports, most especially, the AfroBasket, the Falcons of Kwara, are flying the flag high. So, all these, coupled with the fact that we've also seen, some time out, in the European football circuit and other sports as well, like, Arsenal, trying to, of course, trying to, wind down the league for themselves, and also in Europa League, the Conference League, and the Champions League. All these, of course, have been quite interesting over the past weeks.
Very, very. All right, let's set the ball rolling, and let me go to Austin. And let's talk about basketball. Let's start the show with 2 losses for Kwara Falcons and Tolu, quite rightly hinted. So we're starting with the Basketball Africa League. The euphoria of having Nigerian teams in that competition has died down now. We're Oliver Twist. We want to start seeing results. It's good that we're having our teams there, but once start raising results, and you're going to be afraid for Kwara Falcons, especially with this one. They lost to Stade Malien, 78 points to 74. That's against the backdrop of losing the first one to, of course, aside from Rwanda, the lost 64 to 48. That's in the first game. This is the second game. So, Austin, your thoughts? You have to be part of the first 4 to advance.
And it's kind of tough because I was expecting them to beat Stade Malien today. I don't know where I was getting the confidence, but I thought they did just enough to learn from the first defeat to the Rwandan side. But I mean, this is what we say about when you are, in a good way, the local champion, you need to take the competition further, you know, and this is good exposure. This is good eye-opener, you know, good experience, on-the-court experience for Kwara Falcons. And I just hope that all of this experience will not, you know, be thrown to waste if they don't end this competition the way they expected, or they come back and people are sad and then they abandon what they've actually started. You know, development is a gradual movement towards advancement. You see 78, 74, not far away, but the Stade Malien team did just enough to hold on to victory. But there are definitely lessons in it for Kwara Falcons, and I just hope that they will get on with the competition and be able to pick their first win at the bar.
All right, before I bring Tolu in, after 2 losses, should we be talking about salvaging what is left or still believing they're in with a shout?
You never say never, Yemi. You know, they might just win their next game now and then pick up, you know, the form that we are well expecting them to have. Limitations happen, and then you find a way to want to turn it into something. I don't really know the setup of the management team of this Kwara Falcons, but I feel the buzz of the players on social media, and sometimes that might be the distraction itself. But for me, I like the experience that they are having. I really want them to win their next game. If they can win their next game, then we can start talking about, you know, let's see if they can sustain the momentum. Let's see if they can end the competition on a high. But when you lose your first 2 matches, again, that's not really good, you know, for morale. It's not really good for, you know, team spirit. But then again, they can just turn it around. So, yes, they can salvage it. I will stay with salvaging. Let's see them in their next game and see if they've learned anything from the 2 defeats so far.
All right, I'm very sure you want to bring Tolu in. I mean, we're talking about the next game against the Tunisian side, US Monastir. If it was football, I'd probably be shaking, you know, but, well, it's basketball, so I don't know. But let's bring Tolu in. I'm lost for words, really, because I didn't expect the 2 losses, but, you know, you never can tell what can happen. So let me just get your thoughts, Tolu. I don't know. I want to get your thoughts before I start making it look like doomsday.
Well, you know, I think, you know, for me, for Kwara Falcons, you know, playing against other African teams, you know, will afford them the opportunity, you know, to acquire more experience. You know, when you expose these players, you know, it will do their careers a lot of good. You understand? So, because I know fully well that, you know, we've been trying, you know, to upgrade, you know, the game of basketball in Nigeria. So, you know, and you know, once we start having, you know, this kind of tournament for, you know, for Africans, for most especially Nigerian teams, so, you know, it's a plus, you know, for them, because most of the players, you know, are young players, you know, still, you know, are looking, you know, to, you know, looking up to most of the, you know, established ones, and the North African, the Stade Maliens, of course, when it comes to basketball, are no pushovers, you know, even the national team, we know what the national team comes up anytime they're up against other African nations. But for me, it's a plus for Kwara Falcons, and it's an avenue for them, you know, to enrich their knowledge and to get exposed, you know, than what we anticipate, of course, for them. So for me, it's a good one.
All right. So as far as Tolu is concerned, irrespective of the results, it is good that we're having Kwara Falcons in the mix, irrespective of the results. They get into play, and hopefully, when we come back tomorrow, we'll have something to report, because that will be their 3rd game against the side from Tunisia. That's Monastir. All right, let's move on the show and talk about something we've been all over for a while. And now let's talk about the Lagos Legends offering financial support to former Green Eagles star, former Green Eagles midfielder Henry Nwosu. It's heartwarming that, of course, we're talking about something like this. We're not talking about it when the person is gone, but the show of love and the gesture is what I'm particularly happy. And I hope that this opens the door for other well-meaning Nigerians to offer their support to a true legend. I mean, let me tell you my own Aaron Wars story. I told him the first day I met him. They weren't Super Eagles then anyway, Green Eagles. I had fond memories of Maroc 88, especially that disallowed goal in the final. There was an eruption in our house then. Even though I was very young, but fond memories. And to see someone you grew up, you adore, you like, you respected, to be going through this is very heartwarming to see people offering him support. So let's just, talk about it a little bit. I'll give the floor to Austin. I mean, you probably be monitoring this story, and I mean, this gesture for me is very good.
Of course, definitely. I am in total support of it because, it is not only when these players, are active, we should celebrate them. Even, after retirement, of course, we should, it should be a continuous process, you understand, because they serve the country diligently. You, of course, as you rightly pointed out, I could remember, 88, Henry Nwosu, of course, you don't, the number 10, shirt for Nigeria, he was superbly informed, at the tournament, and, he took the game to another level. His goal against the Cameroon, of course, was disallowed by the, by the referee, but that does not take the credit away, from the team and Henry.
What a gift to Nigeria!
Yeah, of course. I think I remember it was when the team returned to Nigeria. They were recruiting the team, the Super Eagles. That was when Clemens Spencer took over before he took the team to just 90. My friend Honor, the coach, then, I think he said something that, wow, Nigeria, of course, is a blessed nation as far as the talents and potentials, of course, are concerned. So, and this will, of course, tells others that it is good to always appreciate the effort of these players. The government, of course, kudos to the
when challenges come,
kudos to the Lagos State government, for also, of course, aligning with Henry in Nwosu. We still have more stakeholders that should come in and
follow
support.
suit.
Yes.
All right, let's hear let's bring Austin into this as well. Austin, I'm very sure this is something you've been following and monitoring as well. So, it's heartwarming to see him get this support, and we're hoping that more will come.
Yeah, it's so heartwarming, seeing him on his feet. I was so worried when we heard the news that Henry Nwosu was down and he was admitted. At this stage, all he needs is support, and I'm glad to see ex-internationals led by Wai Jakoni, go to, give him some support. It's not about the financial support. It's about their presence. It's about him being there with them, and then they crack jokes. You see them laughing. I'm sure they must have been teasing themselves. They do that a lot when I hang out with them. Talk about when they dribble past one player, or when a player, slipped and then it was mocked. So those are the sort of things that he needs to start healing. Henry Nwosu, the youngest member of the Green Eagles squad in 1980 that won Nigeria's first AFCON. We're glad he's doing just fine. Let's take a listen to some of the things that were said from that visit to Henry Nwosu, and then when we come back, I will get on with the show.
Whatever the government has done in the past.
I am very, very grateful to God Almighty that I came from Lagos State. When I say I came from Lagos State, I came from Lagos State. I was born here in Lagos. I grew up in Lagos. I schooled here in Lagos. I did everything. We got married there, had my children here. And thank God, gentlemen, the way you have helped me, don't stop. If there are other people that need help, please let us rally around and help them. Keep their souls, because it is very, very important. See what you people have done to me. But for you guys, I was gone. Sorry, not for the here now. But of course, I must give every glory to His Excellency. Some will look first, enter the somewhere already.
To be honest with you, Lagos Legends, it's a collection of everybody that's played football in Lagos, both male and female, and we just we think it's very important that we also add to our small, in a small way, in a way to add to what Henry will require. That's by uplifting his spirit. We know that a lot of people have supported him, but officially we're here at his residence today to present our small token, to raise his spirit up, and of course to showcase that people will support you when you've done well for Nigeria as a whole. Henry has done well for Nigeria, and we will not just let him just go like that.
Henry was the youngest player in the 1980 Nations Cup winning team of Nigeria. Henry started reigning and shining as a secondary school player when he was playing for St. Finbar's College. Those days of Principal Cup, we were playing for Baptist Academy then. So Henry was a household name in Africa. At a point, Henry was our own equivalent of the number 10, the Pele, them. You understand? So Henry, to this generation that knew how Nigerian football started, Henry is a hero, is a legend.
Oh, Henry wants to transcend his tribe, as a matter of fact. Henry Nwosu is a representation of what Lagos is all about. He was born here, he schooled here, his life is here. Henry Nwosu is a true Lagosian. And the fact that the governor realizes that, to embrace him, to win him back to good health, we are so excited about it. Is another statement to the cosmopolitan nature of this city. So on that basis, we see a governor that represents and embraces those kind of ideologies. The operative word these days is issues having to do with youth. Of course, there's nothing else that is able to represent that as sports.
All right, so that's it. Of course, Henry Nwosu, of course, getting the support that we've been hoping that it will get. And of course, we do hope that this opens the door for a lot more, the goodwill. Of course, this a true legend in every sense of the word has served Nigeria and does deserve the support. And I hope that he gets back on his feet and he gets to spend more time with family and loved ones in good health and, of course, with a sound mind. All right, let's move on the show. Still talking about our legends, and of course, this is one that has gone, but of course, he has left his footprints on the sands of time. He has achieved a lot for himself, and of course, he's made a name. Ismaila Mabo is the next person we're talking about. Of course, he's passed on, but the things that he has achieved, the things that he has done will live long. Of course, you can't talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria without mentioning the late gaffer, Ismaila Mabo. What he was able to achieve, we are yet to equal that record, taking the Super Falcons to the quarterfinals of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Let's quickly listen to his son, share memories, go down memory lane, and of course, talk about his father, the last moments, and of course, remind us of some of the things he brought and achieved for Nigerian football.
The most beautiful attribute he had is patience, perseverance, hardworking, commitment, and very dedicated to his job of football. These are the qualities I knew about him. And historically, he gave us a lot of history of his life. He was born here and bred up here in Jos. They gave birth to football here on the plateau. He told me all about his life, especially in football. He told us how they gave birth to Mighty Jets in 1969. And then before he died, 5 days to his death, he has been talking a lot about Super Falcons. The girls, how he was proud of the Falcons, and then how he was proud of Mighty Jet Football Club. He looks at Mighty Jet as a legacy. That was what he has been telling us 5 days to his death. Indeed, we lost a true legend in the world of football.
Ismaila Mabo, we will remember him for the good things he did for football in Nigeria. Fantastic midfielder in his time. He died at the age of 80, and as Yemi mentioned, led the Super Falcons to a memorable World Cup encounter in 1999, where they defeated Denmark, I think, to reach the quarterfinals. May sweet, gentle soul rest in peace. We still have more reactions coming for the late Ismaila Mabo, but let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll get those reactions and I will get right into the show. So don't go anywhere. Stay.
Those who follow the history of football in Plateau and nationally will agree that we have lost an icon. He's a legend. I must confess that people like him were role models. He has paid his dues in the annals of Nigerian football, and of course there's no way you can also write the history of football in Plateau State without mentioning Coach Mabo. So it's unfortunate that we have lost him, but I believe that his legacies will live on. And for those of us who are still around, we'll continue to build on that legacy.
Very big loss to this nation, because if we check his contributions, how he has impacted youth football, the women football, and even the environs where he stays and where the football is played, you know that this guy has actually contributed. When they formed the Mighty Jet Football Club itself, then I was not yet born then, but I came in, and the way he encouraged me and the way he had actually given me advice made me to be able to be successful in the course of running the club during my own time. So he's a very wonderful man, It's a big loss to Plateau State, to the country, and even to the whole world. Because I know that when I traveled to London, one of the sports shops I went to, the white man there was asking me, how about Ismaila Mabo? How is he doing? That's to tell you to the extent that his name has gone to, and how he has impacted certain people who are not even Nigerians.
So talking about when you live a good life and then you leave back legacies when you're gone. We'll forever remember Coach Ismaila Mabo for the good things he did for football development in Nigeria. And Yemi, remember when the NFF, I think, honored the class of '99 and he was left out, everyone popped up like, no way. There wouldn't have been a class of 1999 team without Coach Ismaila Mabo.
Yeah, there was an uproar when that happened, and a lot of people asked questions, and I think a few things were done, but I mean, on the spot of the moment, because a lot of people felt without this man, I probably wouldn't be here talking about this. And I do agree with you, Austin. Man has lived a good life, especially based on the testimonies, the things that people had to say about him. I mean, the clubs that he has worked with before, the people that he has impacted. And I mean, that's how to live. That's the best legacy you can always leave. He's gone now, but of course, when we mention his name, we'll have fond memories and a whole lot of things to remember him for. Let me allow Tolu to say something just quickly. Ismaila Mabo, one of the coaches on the domestic scene that you will mention, and people will nod their heads, and this guy gave a lot to football.
You know, well, it saddened my heart, of course, when I heard that Ismaila Mabo was personal, but, you know, as much as, you know, we don't have control over that, you understand, so that is inevitable. But I think, you know, he's one of the best hands in Nigerian football, so I think, you know, since his team of 1999, we are yet to have a Falcons team close to Mabo's team. The team, of course, was loaded with the superstars, talents, you know, and they had the potentials, you know, to take on the rest of the world. But Ismaila Mabo, I think, may so rest in peace. So he gave his all to Nigeria when he was alive. So he served the country very well. So, and of course, with his heart, and, you know, leaving him out when, you know, the class of '99, of course, you know,
honored.
Of course, you know, it very sad, of course, when, you know, people saw he was being left out. But in all, may his soul rest in peace.
All right, that's a good place to leave it. Let's move on the show. Let's talk about the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. It's no longer news. They've been able to secure a ticket for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. And of course, it's no longer news that we've not been able to win this tournament. We've got into the final twice, 89 and 2005. We were not able to win on those two occasions. Now, the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has been speaking with the boys. He's been encouraging them, and he's been telling them, this is the time for you to do it. Ghana has done it, and if Ghana has done it, Nigeria should also go ahead and do it. Let's see if we can listen. Of course, pictures on your screen showing you the boys led by Ladan Boso were able to secure bronze right there in Egypt. Let's see if we can quickly listen to the Minister of Sports, Sunday Dare, of course, share his thoughts, and we'll come back for more sports tonight.
For us, I think we have achieved the first part of it. We've discovered these young talents. And then we're presented the world stage. That's the World Cup in Indonesia, to be able to really make sure that we excel. I have no doubt in my mind that this team will go forward. The necessary adjustments will be made. The technical crew will do a lot of work. Our boys too will be toughened. And I believe they will go to Indonesia and do this country proud. We've won this World Cup before, haven't we? We've not ever won it before. Ghana. So if Ghana can win it, we can win it too. My charge to them is to go out there and for the first time win this World Cup. We've had an excellent run. Now they should put the icing on the excellent run we've had over the years and go out there in Indonesia. Nigerians will be rooting for them and cheering them. They can do it. With the Nigerian spirit, they should go out there and bring home the cup.
The team we took to WAFU, we missed about 7 of them because of accreditation. I think ordinarily, it's not every coach will be able to manage that situation and then go back, losing the first match, waking up, and of course picking the World Cup ticket. The condition given to me, or the target given to me, was to qualify the team for the World Cup. So whatever comes ahead of that was just like a bonus. And most importantly, we have achieved our aim, qualifying the team to the World Cup, and that meaning that we have left a generation for Nigeria to go ahead. And of course, we have left a generation, those players should go to the World Cup and set themselves for better offers. And the more they get better offers, it means we're keeping a generation for the Super Eagles. And that is why we are here as developers. The Fly Eagles of Nigeria played 6 matches, conceded only 2 goals. And in all the matches we have played, despite the criticism, we still remain the best in terms of keeping to the ball. And of course, what suited me most was after the match against Gambia that we lost, we met with the players and they confessed that they play, outside the tactics. That if they had played my own tactics, they wouldn't have lost that match. They talked to themselves. And what is the tactics? Go and score, then come back and defend their goal. And they play the match against Gambia because they want to satisfy Nigerians. But the Nigerians say we don't keep to the balls, and keep it to the balls as far as we're concerned. It's not a yardstick to win a match.
All right, of course, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Sunday Dare, and coach of the Flying Eagles, Ladan Boso, speaking, talking there. Of course, target has been met, but the charge is to go all out and win. We really don't have time, but I'm going to give you a minute, Tolu. I'll give the floor to Austin after that. I'll give you a minute. 2 issues there. It says go all out to win the tournament. We've not done that before. To be able to go all out to win, you have to have a squad to do that. Do you think the Flying Eagles currently have the squad to go all out and do that?
No, we don't. We don't have the squad, to win the Under-20 World Cup because, of course, we saw the boys, in Egypt. So, and we saw how they played, So, it wasn't interesting, you understand. So, they could not, put up to 5 passes together, you understand. So, sometimes, they were found wanting at the back, you understand. So, and when you don't have a squad, of course, that can, rumble the jungle in African football. So, then talk of, Europe, where we have a superpowers like France, England, you understand. So, coming to the party, So, but few of the boys that were at the WAFU Nations Cup, of course, they were not part of the team, you understand. So, and we just need to do more. For me, it's not about winning the trophy, but I want to see some of these boys, moving on, to the bigger stage.
All right. Of course, let's get Austin's thoughts and perspective on this one as well. Austin, really don't have time, but it'd be good to get your thoughts. Yeah. A lot of people have said, okay, how do you improve this team? Do you dismantle it and start all over? You don't really have time. So what do you do? The sports minister said go out and win. We know the essence of this tournament is not really, you know, the winning and all that, but victories are sweet. Let's say that victories very sweet. That must be said. But even though we don't have time, what can be done? Do you dismantle this team? Do you improve this team? I mean,
I think it has to do with a lot of psychological work, you know. I won't say dismantle the team. No, May is just around the corner. Coach Ladon Boso and his team, they've got to invest in psychological work because these guys are young, they've got raw talent. The coaching crew must be able to read and understand the game, give instructions that these guys can understand easily. I heard Coach Ladon Boso saying that they didn't play according to his tactics against Gambia. You must let them know. That's why you're the technical, you know, the technical guy. Let them understand the play and go out there to execute, you know. So I think that's where we need to do one or two work. I've said it and I'll say it again. We can bring in 2 or 3 players, but they must be exceptional. They must be outstanding. They must be players who, when they get into the team, they're not going to disrupt the flow. Yeah, I mean, the good news is that the 2 countries that stopped Nigeria when we made it to the final in 1989 and 2005, they didn't even qualify this time around. Those are our nemesis, Portugal and Argentina. I like Africa's representatives. That's Nigeria, Gambia, Senegal, and Tunisia. So let's see what Africa can do at this FIFA Under-20 World Cup. But for Ladan Boso and the Flying Eagles, don't do so much to the team in terms of changing it, just work on the psychological aspect of the game, and let's take it from there. We're talking about the under-20, so let's show some love to Senegal. The Junior Teranga Lions, they are back in their country, and Yemi, they received a triumphant, you know, welcome back home. What a story, Senegal. Senegal won the AFCON, won the beach soccer AFCON, they won the CHAN Championship, and now they are on the 20 AFCON. Look, I don't know what anybody says. I conclude that African football is Senegalese.
Of course, you are very correct. African football is Senegalese because
at this moment,
yes, they've won everything, you know, CAF, of course, has to offer in African football. So where are the other countries? What is Nigeria doing? How have we been preparing, for this? We've never won, the African beach soccer, and we have never won the CHAN. You understand? So we've won, even when we won under 20 AFCON, it wasn't AFCON then.
It wasn't AFCON then.
It was Tessima Cup. You understand? So African under 20, championship Tessima Cup. So we won it, several times. But now that it's been upgraded to AFCON, we have not been able, to stand our feet. We just need to, work on a house before, we put out a team.
All right, we need to work on those things. But scenes of jubilation right there in Dakar. The boys came in and they were celebrated. They're the kings now. Senegal, Teranga Lions are doing well, and everything about Senegal moving on well. All right, let's go from Senegal to Rwanda. Kigali, to be precise, the capital city, of course, where the 73rd FIFA Congress is currently going on. And of course, today, the CAF president, presented Outstanding Achievement Awards to Rwandan President Paul Kagame and, of course, King Mohammed VI of Morocco right there in Kigali. Patrice Motsepe in your picture, flanked by the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, always around when Africa is doing something, but that's an issue for another day. But achievement awards, very good. And of course, we're expecting to be elected unopposed. Nobody has stepped up to contest his position. So I guess we leave it at that for now. So that's the two, outstanding Africans being receiving the Achievement Award. All right, let's see if we can spend a few minutes we have left to talk about the UEFA Champions League. Let's move on from that. And in talking about the UEFA Champions League, we'll have to go to Austin, who has a privilege of being with us and also having a eye on what is going on around it. So, Austin, your eyes and ears, what's currently going on now in both games?
I listened to Pep Guardiola on radio saying today that, look, his team just needs to go out there and prove that they are the better side. And yes, they are the better side at the moment, you hear me? It's Manchester City 2, Leipzig 0. What a story. Erling Haaland, he just can't stop scoring. Man on fire, has given Manchester City some room to breathe, and I'm sure they're going to consolidate on that scoreline. The game between Inter Milan and FC Porto is still goalless, but right now it's all about Manchester City. They are buzzing, and I'm sure they are good to go in this one, Yemi.
All right, Tulu, quickly, any surprises?
No surprise at all, because I think Manchester City with Guardiola just have to do something this season. He got very close to the trophy a few seasons ago, but now just have to stamp his feet and have his hand, of course, on the trophy, because that is the primary, of course, the priority of Manchester City, winning the Champions League this season, and of course, and that will
Let me ask you a question quickly before we go on to other things. As at Monday, which was yesterday when he was talking, Pep Guardiola admitted that his era at Manchester City would be judged by either the success or failure in the UEFA Champions League. So do you think it's fair to judge this man based on whether he wins the Champions League or not?
Yeah, I mean, you and I know that he was signed, of course, to win the Champions League for them. Manchester City have won the Premier League in the English league. They've won the FA Cup. They won the Carabao Cup. They won the Community Shield. But the only trophy remaining for Manchester City,
is the
Champions League, and that was the primary reason Guardiola, of course, was brought to the club. So,
all right, you've given a view. Let's go to Austin again. Let's just talk about this one. It appears like Man City are cruising. We have just about 2 minutes to go, but Austin, wading to the matter, do you think it would be fair to judge the City era under Guardiola to the sole yardstick or parameter being whether or not he wins the Champions League?
Unfortunately, that's what it is, Yemi. It's just something about when you're dominating and you're in Europe, you just need to win the UEFA Champions League. Just imagine us saying everything we say about Real Madrid and there's no Champions League in that cabinet. I don't want to talk about Arsenal for now, but maybe the Gunners are onto something new. But with the kind of money that Manchester City they've spent, it's just tough to think about Pep Guardiola and this City side without them winning the UEFA Champions League. And what a story we're having with the with Erling Haaland coming to the team. You hear me? He has just become the first player to reach 30 UEFA Champions League goals in 26 matches. That's just outstanding. So you expect such a team, at least they deserve it to win the Champions League. But I still don't even see that happening this season. It's tough.
We got to go, but your parting shot on the show, the 2 games tomorrow. A lot of people have said just give it to Napoli and Real Madrid. I don't know if that's where you stand as well.
Yeah, I'm Team Napoli all day, every day because of Victor Osimhen. Yeah, come for me. It is what it is. But Liverpool, they just need to go out there and show that they can fight. Unfortunately, if they were to score 5 goals, they scored 7 against Manchester United and couldn't score any against Bournemouth. So maybe they scored all the goals on that day. So but let's see what football can give to us in this world of sports. Impossible is nothing. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right. Tolu, Atobatele, I want to thank you for your time on the show. Hopefully, we get to do this again some other time.
Of course, no problem.
All right. That's the show today. We do hope you enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We hope it was worth your while. And, of course, we'll be back here again tomorrow to take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.